When it comes to supervillain teams, there's only one in Justice League worth mentioning. Opening the episode, Jean and John, because it just had to be those two, failed to capture Shade after seeming to trip up over each other during the attempt. This leads to John saying that the League should train to improve their teamwork so they can work together as a much more efficient fighting force. Everyone but Batman agrees, but he's outvoted, so they begin their training, which of course doesn't go well. As Superman refuses to let anyone else get hit.
But did you really need to take all that abuse?
I could have used my mace on it if you'd given me a chance.
And it never would have been able to lay a glove on me.
When have I heard that before?
Hey!
They're making a good point. You've got to trust your partners.
I do, but the fact is, I'm the invulnerable one.
Hawkgirl keeps rushing into things. And Batman keeps taking out everything before anyone else can.
Hey, that was my bad guy!
Happy? Call me when it's important, and not before.
Which I'm not actually sure is a problem. Going back ever so briefly, the reason Shade was able to escape from John and John was Giganta, who's working for Grodd, and is forming a new team of supervillains, which Shade is a little reluctant about, but joins anyway. The other members filling out the team are Parasite, Sinestro, and Killer Frost.
Sinestro's sworn a blood oath against all Green Lanterns. Parasite simply hates Superman. Giganta's totally devoted to me.
What about the other one?
Killer Frost? She just likes to kill.
Similar to the League, Grodd intends to train them to work as a unit instead of all for themselves, with their first mission being to retrieve a set of canisters from a mansion.
Mud?
Living mud. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the final member of our secret society, Clayface.
Clayface joins Grodd's team, and it isn't long before Batman tracks him down, with both the Secret Society and the League appearing to face off with each other. This fight does not go well as the League is beaten and left where they are, as Grodd decides to spare them, wanting to do something much greater for when they're finally defeated. This leads to everyone in the Justice League blaming each other and firing off various accusations until they can't take it anymore.
I'm saying I survived the loss of one family, and I'll survive this one too.
Later, with Grodd, he reveals that the accident he suffered due to the Flash meant he gained newfound psychic powers, which he's been using on the League. Meanwhile, Flash channels Batman as he tries to get information on Shade's hideout.
You are no Batman! You were saying? Alright!
However, in true Justice League fashion, he's immediately captured. Batman is contacted by Flash and comes to help him.
Looks like I didn't need you after all, yo. But you can help me tie him up.
Catch. The real Flash would have been too fast for that.
What gave me away?
You overplayed your part, yo.
He attempts to fight off the villains, but is soon overpowered. The rest of the League, except for Green Lantern, are tricked into going where they were practicing and are also captured. Finally, John finds a spy cam of Grodd's and is also eventually captured, which I think now means we've hit triple digits in people being captured at this show. Grodd's plan of humiliation is to take down the League in front of a crowd, in this case all the attendees of a football game in Gotham City. But as long as he's not wearing some big coat and making speeches, I'm sure everything will be fine. Grodd's plan is foiled by one of his own, Clayface, actually Jean in disguise, having switched places during their last fight. Now aware of Grodd's new powers, the League attacks and takes down the Secret Society one by one, with Grodd finally being taken down with the simplest move from Superman.
I felt worse.
The League regroups and briefly talks about the situation, noting that even if they were being manipulated, some of those issues were true and need to be worked on. The League leaves the field as the crowd cheers, ending the episode. This episode gets a lot of things right. The idea of trying to work as a team without stepping on someone's toes, working together to take down something bigger, issues that aren't brought out into the open causing hidden resentments and problems when they all come out, differing opinions and ideologies in a group causing issues. This episode works well at showing how difficult it can be to work as a team, but also the rewards for when people do and when it's done right. Now, as wonderful as this episode is, and certainly a much better designed team as it has multiple previously established villains, it does suffer from a couple of problems. But like I keep saying, the higher on this list we go, the less likely it is that there are major issues, just minor ones. And simply, the minor issue here is that part of the premise just doesn't work. The idea that the League could be uncoordinated after we've seen them be a well-oiled machine time and time again just seems like too much of a contradiction. And while you could question if it was Grodd's manipulation that caused it, it seems unlikely for all of it. Unless of course he can send telepathic waves through spy cams. It also seems odd that Jean wasn't able to notice a psychic intrusion like that, as it had to be happening constantly for the team to get as bad as they were. And the episode also falls into that same trap again, where it's focusing on the group but doesn't quite give everyone enough time. It's not quite as bad as how other episodes made the main cast and support characters, but it is still a little noticeable. But with no interference from any secret society, this episode ends up at number 3. Hey people, and thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the next one of these a full day before anybody else, you can do that by supporting me on my Patreon page. However, if you're watching this on my Patreon page, then thanks for your support.